Hi, I'm Ryan McQuiston with McQuiston Chopper Designs from Long Beach, California. I've got 3 key custom touches today. A 1949 Panhead, we'll be doing lifter blocks and solid push rods. A 1973 FLH, we'll be doing floorboard installation. And a 1950 flathead trike, we'll be molding the tank to the frame using perforated steel to get ready for fiberglass. If you dig this video, like, subscribe, comment on what you want to see next. Let's get into this. Okay, first things first, we use a gasket cinch for all our sealer. You find a lot of people would use the RTV, the orange or the red stuff, and that's the worst stuff you can use. This is the best stuff for all your engine gaskets. Gasket cinch. The way I do this is I take this and I open it up, put a ample amount on both sides, let it hang, let it dry, let it drip, get it all on there. Alright, after the gaskets are dry, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and take a little bit of gasket cinch and I stick it up on my engine case just to keep my gasket in place. Get my tappets and I'll put a little oil on them. We'll slide those up into my block. What I do is I come in here like this, set it down nice and clean, drop it down, grab my hardware, and I'll take my hardware and get everything set up. Once we get these all going, started, I like to get them all the way down, just snug first before I go cranking anything down. You never want to over crank these. Anything in aluminum, you always want to be gentle. Alright, now that we've got those cinched down, we'll move on to our next block. Same procedure. If you ever have trying to figure out which is which, most of them are labeled. You'll look on here, it says rear on there. You can go ahead and make sure to set it up for rear. Slide that one up the hole. Okay, I like to grab these like such. Drop these down straight in there, just like this. Go ahead and set up your hardware. Once again, I kind of like to get it all started before I go cranking anything down. I need to get my intake at its lowest point. So we get that at its lowest point. Now on my push rods, my intakes are the same size. And my front exhaust is the longest and my rear exhaust is the second longest. So I usually set them up like this. So we find our front push rod, that's our exhaust. And these are our 2 intakes. So we're going to do our intake now. What I do is I just go ahead and I throw this in there, grab a gasket, cork, slide that up. I like to set it all the way down until we come to that spot where it's free, no up and down play. And just get that dialed into a spot. No up and down. Go ahead and put your wrench on it and lock it into place. Get that there. That there, nice lock into place, lock that there. Make sure this is free. Got a little up and down play. We need to open that up a little bit more. So once we get these installed, I like to keep these intakes, I want them to spin free, no up and down play. So what I'll do is I'll lock them in place and then I'll back them off until I get free spin like this. Once that's in place, those are locked down. I like to slide my push rod tube up, grab my clip or retaining spring clip. I take it, stick it in there like that, push in, lock in place. There's one. We're going to do the exhaust. Okay, here we are. Exhaust is at its lowest. Remember, we go back to our push rods. We double check our push rods. We make sure we got the right size one. The front exhaust is the longest push rod. That's the one we're doing now. That's the one that's going to go in there. All right, and now on that front exhaust, I like it to be a little tight, not real tight, just enough where it barely spins between the fingers. Get my wrench, lock that and get it into its home. And there we go, just like that. And not real loose, not real tight, perfect, no up and down. Once again, take my clip, hold it with my thumb, drop my screwdriver in there, and there you go, lock it in place. Very good. Now that we've got that done on our intake and our exhaust, we'll repeat that on our rear cylinder. And we will do that the same way, exhaust and intake. Sometimes when you're having a hard time holding this up and doing your adjustments on your push rod, here's a quick tip. You can always take like one of these little mini bungee cords, and what I do is I just take it, slide it in the tube, slide it up, and find a good spot to hook it on, and it holds it up right here just so you can do your adjustments without having to hold that tube and do 2 wrenches at the same time. But that's a good quick tip for you guys. All right, that's a wrap on the Panhead installation for tappet blocks, tappets, and push rods. We still need to do exhaust clamps and a few minor things. But let's move on to the FLH, get over there and install floorboards and regulator. Okay, so on the FLH, on the shift side, we've got a small issue here with our floorboard and our open belt primary. We're going to need to do a little modification to get the floorboard to work with the open belt primary. Just a little cut and bend tweak right over here on the rear mount. Easy peasy, shouldn't be too big of a big deal. We got that problem situated. We did a little modification so we can run an open belt with the floorboard. That's a wrap on this. Let's move on to the trike and the perforated steel for molding the tank to the frame. All right, we're over here with the 50 flathead trike. We're gonna do perforated steel. The reason why we do this way is so when we use like the kitty hair and we put it over it, it goes into these little holes and it expands. Once it starts to dry, it's really strong, and it also shapes really easy with a ball peen hammer. All right, let's get into it. All right, looks like we've got all our perforated steel welded on for our fiberglass. If you like the progress and everything and you're digging what we're doing, come back and see what's going on for part 2 on this. That's a wrap. Have a good day.